Hello everybody. The rain is strong today. A time where there's much solitude. So here is where we dive in and we read some more. And I'm going to read a few chapters in Deuteronomy. This will be Deuteronomy video 5. Raw Commentary. Okay. So I'm going to pray first. As always, it's good to pray, to focus in with God. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as it is in heaven, so will it be on earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, the power, forever and ever. Amen. In Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. Amen. Lord, I ask for your wisdom and your peace today. Peace in the heart, peace in the mind, peace in the body, peace in the soul. To grant me further dedication, to grant me further education, to grant me further knowledge, to grant me the wisdom, the application of that knowledge in my soul, in my very soul, and for me to spread that to others. And I pray that everyone who seeks you are comforted by you. For we all look towards you and love you very much. And the very foundations you have created for this world, for your people, in which your victory will always come in the end. So, I'm going to read 13. And here we go. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proveth you, to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the end of the earth, even unto the end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God. We'll pause right there. See, here all this killing, right, in a sense. But once again, this is all spiritual. And I have to explain this because it says here, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. So how can he be put to death multiple times? How does that make sense physically? That's how you understand. You have to understand this book of Moses here to understand the spiritual application before even thinking of the physical application towards it. Because if you were to think of that physically, that's saying that he died multiple times. I mean, he died multiple times and came back from the grave and died again. Like, physically, that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to repeat that again. But thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. So basically, that's saying that everyone who understands the Lord are going to come at this person for showing him the wrong ways, right? From misdirecting him from not seeing God, right? From pushing another person away from God, in a sense, misdirecting him by giving him signs and wonders that has nothing to do with the principles of God, right? You're directing him to other gods. Which are other principles, things that can corrupt you and make you think and make you have confusing thoughts instead of true thoughts. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die. And once again, still talking about death of the same person. How many times can this person die? Because he has sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this among you. If thou shalt hear in one of thy cities, which the Lord thy God hath given thee to dwell there, saying, men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known. Then shalt thou inquire, and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, truth, the thing, and behold, truth, the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, that shall surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword. destroying it utterly, and all that therein, and the cattle thereof, with the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shalt burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof, every whit, for the Lord thy God. And it shall be an heap forever. It shall not be built again. And there shall cleave naught of the cursed thing to thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do right in the eyes of the Lord thy God. I'm skipping certain italicized words, so you can feel that truth more sometimes if you pull that out. So if I read it again with the italicized words, it says, to keep all his commandments which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord thy God. But then I take the italicized words out and I say, to keep all his commandments, to keep all his commandments which I command thee this day, to do right, simply to do right in the eyes of the Lord thy God. Ye, the children of the Lord your God, ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes from the dead. Now, what does that mean? That's a deep interpretation right there, right? You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes from the dead. It sounds like, and this is just my interpretation, as you read, you might have a better understanding from what I see when that is said, saying you should not blind yourselves. You should not turn your thoughts away and see from seeing exactly what's going on with this person. For thou, a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord had chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. Yeah, you should not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. Don't try to appease to the wicked. It's interesting. Something to think about for everybody, right? Everybody can have a thought about that. Think about that in a spiritual sense. Feel free to reach out and see how it reaches your soul. All right, let me continue. 14:3. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye shall eat. So he's telling you, thou shalt not eat any abominable thing, after speaking about how people are trying to do not follow people who are turning you to other gods. And then he was trying to help you understand who to pay attention to, who to take meat from. Moses is trying to help you understand now who to take meat from. The word, the clean word, and who to not take it from, based on their principles, based on them being dead. Dead things. I'm going to continue. I'm slowing down. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. Eat meaning to obtain the knowledge from. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat. And it's very interesting because they all have different principles that can be that I hope that all of you look towards the very principles and the spirits, the very principles and understanding the nature behind these animals. The ox. So these are the beasts which ye shall eat. The ox. And the ox is like, from me doing work, looking into this, the ox is the worker. The sheep is like us, right? The goat, I think the goat has to do something with sacrifice, right? Just, those are my own thoughts. And I expect you all to not just to hear me, but to understand, to go into and do the research and do the knowledge for yourself, because that's where the Lord reaches out to you. Okay, this is very important, because we can all have discernment, and some better than others. But if I can just plant a seed for you to do the search in your hearts, to understand even greater than I. The hart, H-A-R-T, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pigarg. I don't even know what a pigarg is. I'll have to look that up. And the wild ox, and the chamos. I don't know what a chamos is either. I'll look that up. And every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat. So all the beasts that takes their time to chew and to absorb, right? Takes the time to chew thoroughly and absorb. That's what these animals do. They chew thoroughly and absorb. So it's like taking in the word. You don't just swallow the word. You want to chew it, thoroughly. Take your time. Feel all the grains. Let that dissolve, marinate in your mouth, right? Let it marinate in your thoughts, meditating on the thoughts, meditating on the word, chewing the word, right? Going to the roots of the word, understanding how the word affects your spirits and what its true meaning is in spirit. That's what cheweth the cud among. That's what chewing the cud means to me. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. So the difference is, okay, it's the ones we can eat, they can chew the cud, and we can divide what's good and what's bad. We can discern what's good and what's bad. It's like chewing the meat and spitting out the bones, right? When you're chewing the meat and you're spitting out the bones, you're dividing the good from the bad. When you're taking in words from people, you are absorbing, but you're even as you listen to me, because I am no exception. I hope that everyone who listens and reads this with me understands how to chew the cud and uh, and separate the good from the bad. Separate the understanding from the misunderstanding. Right. So anyway, I'm going to read this again. And every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft in two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. They are unclean to you. Because they just take in everything as is. They divide nothing. That's what is stated here. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud. So the swine, it divides the hoof, but it just swallows everything. It doesn't take its time. It divides, but it doesn't take its time to absorb and understand. It is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. And they're dead. Their carcass is dead because they lack understanding. If you think about that spiritually, they're dead because they lack understanding, because they swallow all of the knowledge without understanding. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And fish with fins and scales, and the scales help clean the fish in the water. All right. So there's more symbolic symbolism to there that I'll have to do some more research on. I know there's also a book. There's another book that is I want to read that'll help with understanding the different nature of these animals spiritually, to spiritually understand how to translate. And I'll have a video with that. And whatsoever have not fins and scales ye may not eat. It is unclean to you. And if you don't have fins or don't have scales as a fish, you're collecting all the mud. You know, you're putting your body in the mud. You know, there are fish that dig them without scales. They dig themselves in the mud and stay there. You know, they always go back to that mud. They are always dirty. Of all clean birds ye shall eat, but these are they which ye shall not eat: the eagle, and the ostrich, and the osprey, and the glede, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind. See, and I also see how it says his kind, his kind. It's not stating like it's why would it call a creature his? Like it's trying to have you understand the spiritual nature, right? Otherwise you would be calling the animal an it, right? Or an animal just by the animal, not his. And the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind. And all of these birds have specific nature, very, very aggressive nature, right? So that's something more to discern on. And again, I'll get to that book. The little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. Interesting. Funny thing is, and there's that city called Heron, right? Just like the bird. And every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you. They shall not be eaten. But all clean fowls ye may eat. But of all clean fowls ye may eat. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it. Or thou mayest sell it unto an alien, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. There's a lot to that. A lot to that. Well, we're almost done with this 30 minutes here, so let me finish 14. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, and the field bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And again, that's repeated earlier in the chapters. And it's repeated again on chapter 14. It's so important. There must be great importance to this, to state that, your best things, to give away as you continue to grow in substance, to give away your best, the things, the best things that started it all for you, because you are already blessed, right? And you will continue to be blessed. So don't cling on to the treasures you deem worthy. Don't create medals for yourself that you idolize over. You stay humble through sacrifice. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go on to the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God. And thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shalt lay it up within thy gates. And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat, and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the works of thine hand which thou doest. Because the Levite, their reward is through God alone, right? So they must stay there. Their rewards are connected with God, and everything. And these tithings that you have that was been sent to the Levites, at the end, all of these are given to the people who are in need still to help those that we cannot see, those who are not our neighbors. That is the tithing that we do, because we are still in abundance. And it's 32 minutes in, and sorry for the angry face. There's a lot to it. You have to definitely dive in. And it's more than meets the eye. A lot of people cannot understand the testaments of old, but it's so profound. And it makes more sense to understand it spiritually than making a physical thought, imagination of what everything is that's being spoken about. Well, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful day and you stay safe. Peace.